I'm 82 years old, and most of the people who once spoke my name with familiarity are gone now. Some are buried, some simply drifted away, and a few I pushed away without realizing it, because I didn't understand what quiet disrespect does to a life when you let it sit too long. I'm not telling you this to feel better. At my age, relief is a small and temporary thing. I'm telling you because time has narrowed for me, and truth feels heavier when there's less road ahead than behind. When you live this long, you begin to see patterns you missed while you were busy surviving. Disrespect is one of those patterns. It rarely arrives loudly. It seeps in. It settles. It becomes normal before you even notice it has changed the shape of your days. When I was young, in my late 20s, I believed patience was strength. I worked at a government office back then. Wooden desks, slow ceiling fans, files stacked higher than they should have been. My supervisor had a way of speaking to me that always felt slightly smaller than how he spoke to others. Not openly rude, just dismissive. He would interrupt me mid-sentence, assign credit elsewhere, call me reliable, but never capable. I told myself it was nothing. Everyone has a boss like that, I thought. Better to stay quiet. Better to keep peace. I had rent to pay. A wife expecting our first child. Stability mattered more than pride. That's what I believed. At home, it was quieter but similar. My older brother had strong opinions about everything, my job, my spending, even how I spoke to my own wife. He would laugh lightly when I shared plans, not cruel laughter, just disbelief wrapped in concern. You always think too small, he would say. Or sometimes, you don't really understand how the world works. I rarely argued. He was older, more successful. People respected him. I assumed he saw something I didn't. So, I adjusted. I softened my voice. I explained less. I accepted correction even when I hadn't asked for it. At the time, none of this felt like surrender. It felt like maturity. Disrespect is confusing when it comes dressed as normal conversation. It's in the moments where your words are ignored, but you continue speaking anyway. It's when invitations stop including you in decisions, but you still show up smiling. Professional. Necessary. When I came home, my daughter had already removed her costume. She said the play went fine. She said it didn't matter. She was kind like that. But years later, while cleaning old boxes, I found the program from that play. My name wasn't written anywhere on it. Her mother had signed it. Her teacher had signed it. There was a blank space where my message could have been. That's when I realized disrespect doesn't only come from people who diminish you. Sometimes it comes from the parts of you that agree to disappear. My 40s passed quickly. Promotions came. Money improved. But the way people spoke to me didn't change much, because I hadn't changed what I tolerated. Friends borrowed things and returned them late or not at all. Relatives made decisions for family gatherings without asking if I could come. At work, younger men interrupted me openly the way my supervisor once had. By then, silence had become my habit, and habits harden into identity. The turning point came when my wife fell ill. Nothing sudden, just a long, slow illness that rearranged the house into medicine bottles and quiet routines. She needed help walking, needed company more than conversation. One afternoon, a relative visited. He spoke about treatment options as if she were not in the room. He referred to her in the third person, made decisions with me, not with her. I watched her face while he spoke. She didn't protest, she just withdrew slightly, like someone closing a window against cold air. And I saw something I had never seen clearly before. Disrespect does not always wound loudly. Sometimes it erases presence, slowly, methodically, until a person feels like an object in their own life. After he left, she asked me one question. Why didn't you stop him? I had no answer. Because I never had. Not with anyone. Not even for myself. She died the following winter. And that question stayed. There are things you cannot repair once time has passed through them. I cannot go back and speak differently in those rooms. I cannot show my daughter the father who chose her performance over unnecessary work. I cannot give my wife the moment of protection she quietly waited for. Time doesn't negotiate. It only moves forward, carrying what you failed to hold firmly. If I could speak to the younger version of myself, or to you, I wouldn't give instructions. Life doesn't obey instructions anyway. But I would share what age has shown me. First, when someone speaks over you repeatedly, notice it. Not angrily, just honestly. And finish what you were saying. Your voice deserves completion. Second, when a person treats your time as if it has no shape, gently remind them that it does. Because the world often treats you the way you quietly allow yourself to be treated when nobody is watching. These are not strategies. They are simply things I learned too late to live fully by them. If this means something to you, if any part of it feels familiar, you can sit with it quietly. That's enough. Understanding grows slowly, the way most important things do. I don't have many years left. The house is quieter now. Sometimes I speak aloud just to hear a voice in the room, but I am not bitter, only aware. Disrespect does not destroy a life all at once. It dissolves it gently over decades. In ordinary afternoons you barely remember. I remember them now, and that is both my clarity and my weight. Tonight will pass like all the others. Another evening measured in small sounds and fading light. I will sit, breathe, and let memory settle where it wants. At this age, acceptance is not peace exactly. It is simply the understanding that what remains, remains, and what is gone is truly gone.